Imagine that exactly 5 minutes from now, your heart stops beating. The room falls silent. The people around you think everything is over. But what if inside your skull, the story isn't finished yet? What if your brain is still fighting, still processing, maybe even experiencing one final burst of consciousness? It sounds like science fiction. Yet over the past decade, scientists have uncovered evidence that suggests the final moments of the human brain are far stranger than anyone once believed. If you could somehow witness those last 5 minutes from inside your own mind, what would you actually experience? Would your memories flash before your eyes? Would time seem to slow down? Would you still hear the voices around you after your heart stopped? And why do so many people who survive near-death experiences describe remarkably similar sensations? The answers take us into one of the greatest mysteries in neuroscience. For most of history, people assumed death happened in a single instant. The heart stopped, the brain shut down, and consciousness disappeared. Simple. But biology rarely works that way. Death is not a switch, it's a process. The moment your heart stops pumping, oxygen-rich blood no longer reaches your brain. Within seconds, neurons begin running out of fuel. Electrical activity starts changing dramatically. But here's where things get strange. Instead of immediately becoming silent, parts of the brain may briefly become even more active. In 2013, researchers at the University of Michigan studied rats during cardiac arrest. What they found surprised the scientific community. Right after the heart stopped, the animals' brains produced a sudden surge of highly organized gamma brainwaves, signals normally associated with attention, perception, and conscious awareness. For a brief period, brain activity actually became more synchronized than during normal waking life. Why would a dying brain suddenly become more organized instead of less? Scientists still don't know for certain. Then something even more unexpected happened. In 2022, doctors accidentally recorded the brain activity of an 87-year-old patient during the moments surrounding death while monitoring for epilepsy. The recording suggested increases in gamma oscillations and other coordinated brain rhythms linked with memory retrieval and dreaming. It was only one documented human case, so researchers are cautious about drawing broad conclusions, but it opened an extraordinary possibility. Could the brain be replaying important memories in its final moments? That idea immediately reminded many scientists of something millions of people have described for generations: the so-called life flashing before your eyes. People who survive car crashes, falls, or cardiac arrest sometimes report seeing years of memories unfold in what feels like an instant. Childhood birthdays, family dinners, faces they hadn't thought about for decades. Is that just an illusion? Or is the brain performing one final attempt to organize a lifetime of experiences? Nobody knows, but the idea isn't as impossible as it once sounded. Your brain doesn't store memories like videos sitting inside a folder. Every memory is spread across enormous networks of neurons, connected by patterns of electrical activity. Under extreme stress, chemicals flood the brain. Those unusual conditions could activate many of those networks at the same time, creating an intense cascade of remembered experiences. But that's only one piece of the puzzle. What happens to your sense of time? Many survivors of life-threatening events say everything seemed to slow down. Some describe seconds feeling like minutes. Others report experiencing countless thoughts almost instantly. Psychologists believe your brain doesn't actually slow time itself. Instead, it rapidly records far more information than usual during moments of extreme danger. Later, when those memories are replayed, the experience feels much longer than it really was. That's when everything changed. Scientists realized the dying brain may not simply be shutting down. It may be entering one of the most unusual states it ever experiences. Then comes another mystery. Can you still hear after your heart stops?
Research suggests hearing may be one of the last senses to disappear. Several hospital studies using EEG monitoring indicate that some patients continue showing brain responses to familiar voices even after they become completely unresponsive. Exactly how long this awareness may last remains uncertain and likely varies from person to person. That's why many doctors and hospice workers continue speaking calmly to dying patients, even when there is no visible response. No one can say with certainty what the patient experiences. But the possibility is enough to change how we think about those final moments. Then scientists discovered something unexpected. As oxygen levels continue falling, brain cells begin releasing enormous amounts of neurotransmitters. Chemicals like glutamate flood neural circuits. At the same time, the brain may release endorphins and other substances that reduce pain and alter perception. Could this explain why many near-death survivors describe overwhelming peace instead of fear? Possibly. But the real mystery is, why do so many people from different cultures report similar experiences? People have described moving through darkness toward light, feeling detached from their bodies, watching medical staff from above, encountering profound calm. Some researchers believe these experiences arise from predictable changes inside the visual cortex, temporal lobe, and other brain regions affected by oxygen loss. Others argue neuroscience still cannot fully explain every reported detail. The debate continues, and perhaps that's exactly what makes the subject so fascinating. Evolution also raises an interesting question. Why would natural selection allow the brain to remain active after survival is no longer possible? Maybe it isn't designed for death at all. Perhaps these emergency responses evolved to maximize survival during situations where recovery was still possible. Most injuries throughout human history didn't guarantee death. If a final burst of brain activity improved even a small chance of escaping danger, evolution would favor it. The same system that once helped our ancestors survive could simply continue running when rescue comes too late. There's another surprising lesson hidden inside all of this. Your brain is never simply recording reality. It is constantly building it. Every sight, every sound, every memory, every emotion exists because billions of neurons work together to create the experience you call you. In those final minutes, that astonishing system doesn't instantly vanish. It slowly loses the ability to maintain the delicate balance that has defined your entire conscious life. And yet, for a brief moment, it may produce one final masterpiece of electrical activity. Not because it knows death is coming, but because it is doing exactly what evolution shaped it to do. Keep working. Keep searching. Keep trying. Perhaps that's the most remarkable part of the human brain. Even at the edge of existence, it doesn't surrender without a final effort to make sense of the world. And maybe the greatest mystery isn't what happens 5 minutes before you die. It's how billions of tiny electrical signals spent an entire lifetime convincing you that they were you.